This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. I mentioned earlier it was a fantastic night of girls basketball at the high school level here in the Texas Panhandle last night. Not one, but two #1 teams within their respective classifications getting dethroned. One of them being handed their very first loss of the season. That was the Canadian Lady Cats. Bushland taking them down in a 10-point victory. Joining me now to talk a little bit about that game is the Bushland girls basketball head coach, Sarah Allen. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I guess I just want to kick it off and talk about this game. Obviously, it was a huge one from your perspective. Having that game at home, Canadian knows they've got a target on their back, undefeated #1 team in the state for good reason. They're a very good basketball team, but you guys defended your home floor last night. How big of a deal is it to see that from your girls?
Yes, I mean, it was electric. The gym was so fun. We're still learning our new gym, and so it was a blast. Student section came out. Just a testament to how special Canadian is for it to be a night like that. And they're just a dynamite team this year, and they have the best defense, I think, we'll see, or close to it. So I know why they're ranked #1 and undefeated.
Absolutely. You mentioned their defense. Obviously, you know, they came into the night 29-0, undefeated overall and in district play, and they're certainly hoping for a deep playoff run, as are you guys. But that being said, you guys put up 54 points on them. What did that take? I mean, they've got a strong defense, but putting up 50 points on a team is nothing to sneeze at.
Yes, well, we have pivotal seniors for sure, but we are relatively young. We start 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen with them, and so we grow every single day, not just every single game. Mondays are a big deal for us. Wednesdays are a big deal for us, and because of other sports here, and we're blessed with great volleyball, we get our girls pretty late, and so it's a race to get to improvement, and every game matters. And so last time we played them, they really killed us with their pressure at Canadian. I mean, they really wrung us out on that, and we were more prepared and mentally tough for that.
Mm-hmm. You guys had 3 different players finish with double figures last night. Handful of them. Berkeley Billington, 17 points. She led the team. If I'm not mistaken, she's a freshman, correct?
Yes, sir. She's a freshman, and our other freshman, Haven Pointer, I believe she had 12. Mm-hmm. And then our senior, Charlie Stevens, had 11. Sorry, I screamed so much last night. But those freshmen, they really did. They stepped up. They're very talented kids, and they played more like juniors last night than freshmen, that's for sure.
Yeah, you had good reason.
Yes.
Good reason to scream quite a lot last night. I think I would be screaming too
fun.
if I were in your position. I don't think I'd be able to do an interview today if I were in your position, frankly.
Yes.
But that being said, you've got these players who are putting up double figures against the @1 team in the state. A couple of them freshmen. What does it mean to have freshmen on your team? Because it's not something you see every day, I think, at any high school basketball level, to have not just a good team, but a good team led by freshmen and or sophomores.
Yeah, so we had the same deal last year. We had a lot of freshmen. We have a lot of sophomores this year. It's special. You know, there's some frustrating moments in the preseason and in early season. You know, we go through some fire, and we learn a lot. I mean, just even from the first part of district to the second part of district, I feel like we're different every single day. And that's so fun to see, and it's so satisfying for the girls and for the whole program. We're so proud of them. And we, you know, when you're freshmen and sophomores and even seniors, and you're going up against Canadian, especially this year, you know, you can get in your head about it, especially the last time we played them, it didn't go so good for us. And we went in and we talked to them about, you know, burning the boats, and there's no turning back. We were fighting to the death, and you can do everything you can, and it's in your willpower. And so they went out there with nothing to lose, and it was an absolute blast. Paid off.
Well, the challenges don't stop after Canadian, unfortunately. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the rest of your district. We talked a little bit about it in the break, but next up for you guys, the Dalhart Lady Wolves. They have also been enjoying a pretty fantastic season of their own, currently ranked 13th in the state coming into this game. And this one has some big playoff implications with the way the UIL has switched things up with the big school bracket and the small school bracket for each individual division, or for each individual classification, having 2 different brackets. So what do you want to see out of your girls this upcoming Friday against Dalhart, knowing it is a big game?
Yes, well, Dalhart is very different than Canadian. They are incredibly talented, just like Canadian, but they do play a different game, and we are preparing for that. They're going to be tough to defend, really, really tough to defend, and they play great defense as well. They're real big into their post game. You guard their post and they hit threes, kind of pick your poison, and that's what we're doing today and tomorrow. We're just trying to see how we'll do it and how we'll try to pull it off. They're extremely well coached, and yeah, we're excited. It's a big game. Canadian was so fun for us, but it really is about Dalhart on Friday for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, picking up a win against Canadian is a huge deal. Once again, obviously, they were undefeated going into it, have been the team to beat with the target on their back in 3. I believe the only undefeated team, I guess not anymore, but they were the only undefeated team remaining in the classification, if I'm not mistaken. With all of that being said, though, defeating Canadian's one thing, defeating Dalhart's another. When you're going up against 2 different teams that kind of play differently, how have you noticed this season in particular? Have you noticed your girls being able to adjust to that sort of thing? Picking up a win against Canadian's a big deal, but to do it against Dalhart, they may have to play the game a little bit differently. They may have to defend a little bit differently. How have you noticed your girls adapt to changes like that this season?
Yes, well, we're just now getting there. I'll say that. In the first of the season, we had to kind of stay in one defensive position, and now we can kind of change things up mid-game. And every possession matters, though. Dalhart's going to be tough. It's every single 2 points will count, And so we're going to have to be really strategic in what we do and what we try to pull out, and just trust what we have and go for it. So it's at home that helps a little bit. We have a pretty good student section, so maybe that'll come in handy.
Yeah, it's set to be a pretty great game out at Bushland. We will be there and have highlights on the news at 10 if you can't make it this upcoming Friday, but we always encourage fans to get out there and make it to the game. Coach Allen, we really appreciate you coming on to the show, talking a little bit of Lady Falcon basketball. Once again, congrats on the huge win just last night over Canadian, and best of luck going forward.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive after the break.